Welcome to Jnanavahini, the platform on contemporary developments in higher education. In this episode, I wish to share the governance related issues in higher education. The main points pertaining to the developments in higher education in governance related matters in the first half of March are: 1. The road to empathy in education. 2. JNU withdraws rules imposing Rs 50,000 fine for violence. 3. Clock is ticking, universities and the importance of time management. 4. Submit development plans by end of March, department to universities. 5. Why the public university matters in India. And finally, the deep bias. In case of the road to empathy in our education, we have a very interesting observation made by none other than Honorable Chief Justice of India, respected Sri D.Y. Chandrachooda. Empathy generally is a quality of being in tune with emotions of others, and the question is, what is it in higher education institutions? Honorable Chief Justice of India has asked for the institutes of empathy rather than institutes of excellence. Honorable Chief Justice opines that empathy is a good value which opens doors to our hearts and minds of others, adds missing element to humanity, helps make for better inquiry and builds scientific temper. On the other hand, disregard for empathy is killing humanity. Therefore, our education system has to deliver graduates informed on ideas of equity and equality, as well as larger ideas of service, community and values. As a teachers in higher education, we have to deeply understand our students and their personal and social conditions, and feel care and concern for them, and also to respond compassionately without losing the focus on student learning. Next is on JNU withdraws rules imposing Rs 50,000 fine for violence. JNU had brought out a document titled Rules of Discipline and Proper Conduct of Students, containing punishments for different acts by students such as protests, dharna, violence, forgery, unauthorized occupation in hostels, use of abusive and derogatory language, etc. Punishments ranged from fine of Rs 5,000 to 50,000 to restriction and cancellation of admission. On 28th February 2023, JNU withdrew these rules, and this is a welcome sign because students learn best in environments where they feel safe, accepted, appreciated and motivated. Therefore, we the faculty and administrators shouldn't forget that relationship with students take years to build and seconds to destroy. The third issue relates to clock is ticking, universities and the importance of time management. Professor C.V. Raman, the Nobel laureate, way back in 1926, in his convocation address to Banaras Hindu University, he said, quote, "Our universities are so engrossed today with task of conducting examinations, meeting of boards and faculties, courts and councils, senate and syndicate. They have no time to perform the highest function of a university, which is to stimulate intellectual activity and advance knowledge," unquote. Even after close to 100 years now, the situation has not changed in India. The question is, what is the solution? More than any external prescription, it is all about self-regulation, self-instruction, self-monitoring, self-assessment and self-reinforcement on the part of teachers and administrators of higher education institutions. The next issue pertains to submit development plans by end of March department to varsities. Government of Karnataka has asked all state universities to submit institute development plans IDPs by this March 31st 2023, and these IDPs contain universities future plans both short term and long term and initiatives to reach these goals. These IDPs will offer insights on how infrastructure is upgraded, student support systems are augmented, and academic deficiencies are addressed to bring the state universities on par with best institutions in the country and to attract best talent in teaching, learning and research. These IDPs will infuse strategic perspectives in the governance of all the 25 state universities with 3,417 affiliated colleges in Karnataka. Next issue on governance relates to why the public university matters in India. Last 2 decades had witnessed growth in higher education institutions in India, primarily due to private sector participation, and private sector accounts for 4/5 enrollment in professional higher education institutions in particular. Yet, public university matters in India because they get funding from state and offer more affordable courses at low tuition fees, and finally, overall cost of studying the program are lesser than the private universities. There is no alternative to a robust system of public university given the massification of higher education and high aspirations among the youths, especially the needy and deserving students. Therefore, there is a need to revive public universities in India through transformation in work culture, adoption of new practices and structures of governance, and freeing from vested interests the administration of these public universities, so that these public universities will function in a way to meet the needs of 21st century and making India a knowledge superpower in the world. Next issue relating to governance is the deep bias which pertains to the mental health of students. There is a need to pay attention to the mental health of students because mental health is a vital part of educational experience of students, and it will have an impact on how students socialize with their friends and teachers as well as feel motivated to study. There are many odds students normally face, such as family backgrounds and experiences, schooling disadvantages, poor resources, subpar teaching assistants, low English and even low technical skills. Therefore, in the higher education institutions, the narrow definitions of merit are of no use to those students who most desperately need help. Summarizing these points, 1, we have to be in tune with emotions of students, and this empathy opens doors to hearts and minds of students. 2, students learn best in an environment where they feel safe, accepted, appreciated and motivated. Instead of punishing the students, we have to search for solutions to their problems and their behavioral issues. Third, self-regulation is the need of the hour in higher education institutions today. Fourth, institute development plans will add strategic perspectives in adherence in academic governance of higher education institutions. 5, in view of massification of higher education, there is a need to revive public universities in India and bring new work culture and governance structures. Finally, universities have to genuinely make room for all the students, and narrow definitions of merit are of no use to those students who most desperately need help. Dear friends, I am sure you all have enjoyed listening to this presentation. Thank you all very much for listening to this presentation, and in the next video So let us have a discussion on the internationalization of India's higher education. Thank you all very much. Thank you.